Very cheerful good morning and join to all. In this video, I will explain rest part of the chapter Deep Water where we left in my previous video. I will continue from the same place. What happened? He was rescued. But what happened? 7 years, several hours later, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. I couldn't eat that night for days. A haunting fear was in my heart. The slightest extension upset me, making the wobbly in the knees and sick to my stomach, wobbly weak. After many hours, William walked home. He felt weak and shivered. He kept on crying as he lay on the bed. He was unable to eat food. The fear kept on haunting him for many days. The incident made him physically upset. The slightest work made him feel that his knees were unable to bear his weight. He would feel like vomiting all the time. I never went back to the pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. I never went back to the pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. William did not go to the swimming pool, the same swimming pool, that swimming pool, as he feared the water. He remained away from the water. A few years later, when I came to know the waters of the Cascades, I wanted to get into them, and whenever I did, whether I was wading the Teton or bumping river or bathing in the warm lake of the goat rocks, the terror that had seized me in the pool would come back. It would take possession of me completely. My legs would become paralyzed. Icy horror would grab my heart. Cascades waterfall. After some years, William came to know of a waterfall and wanted to go in it. Whenever he went for swimming in different rivers like Teton, Bumping River, Warm Lake of the Goat Rocks, the fear of water returned. It would grab him completely, disabled him, his limbs and grab his heart. This handicap stayed with me as the years rolled by. In canoes on Main Lake, fishing for landlocked salmon, bass fishing in New York, Hampshire, front fishing of Deschutes, Metolius in Oregon, fishing of salmon on the Columbia or Bumping Lakes, whatever. Handicap or circumstances that make progress of sources. Canoes, small boats, ruined, destroyed, deprived to take away. The fear of water remained with William as he grew up on the boating trips of different lakes in Maine region. What happened? He was never out of fear. All destroyed his trips. His fishing trips were destroyed as he did not enjoy boating and swimming due to the fear. I used to every way I knew to overcome this fear, but it held me firmly in its grip. Finally, one October, I decided to get an instructor and learn to swim. I went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around me. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley that ran on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope and we went back and forth across the pool. Hours after hours, day after day, week after week, on each trip across the pool, a bit of the panic seized me. Each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and I went under. Some of the old terror returned and my legs froze. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. Then he taught me to put my face under water and exhale and to raise my nose and inhale. I repeated the exercise hundreds of times. Bit by bit, I shed part of the panic that seized me when I head went under water. Cable, thick rope, slack to reduce, shed, removes, panic, fear, seize, grip. These are the new or difficult words. William tried to ward of the fear, but was unable to get rid of it. Finally, in the month of October, he had an instructor to teach him swimming. He would practice for an hour each day, 5 days a week. Williams described the learning process. The instructor put a belt around Williams' waist. The belt was attached to a thick rope. The rope went through an overhead pulley and was held by the instructor. It ensured that in case William drowned, the instructor would pull him out. William swam across the length of the pool for several weeks. Whenever the instructor loosened the rope, he went down into the water and the fear would return. It would immobilize his legs. It was after 3 months of practice that William got comfortable. Then the instructor taught him to breathe in the water. He taught him to put his face under the water and exhale his breath. He was taught to raise his nose out of the water and inhale. William practiced several times. Gradually, he got rid of the panic that would grab him when put on his head under the water. Finally, he learned to defeat his fear. Next, he held me at the side of the pool and had me kicked with my legs. For a week, I did just that. At first, my legs refused to work, but they gradually relaxed, and finally, I could command them. In the third phase of the learning process, the instructor taught William to kick the water surface with his legs. It means how to swim in the water. Instructor taught him how to swim in the water using legs and hands. Thus, piece by piece, he built a swimmer, and when he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an intelligent whole. In April, he said, "Now you can swim, dive off, and swim the length of the pool, crawl, stroke." Finally, after passage of time, slowly, but steadily, he learned swimming. And one day, his instructor described that finally, you learned the swimming. I did. The instructor was finished. William swam and the classes came to an end. But I was not finished. Classes was finished, but the swimming was not. I still wonder if I would be terror-stricken when I was alone in the pool. I tried it. I swam the length, up and down. Tiny vestige of the old terror would return, but now I could frown and say to that terror, "Try to scare me? Well, here to you look." And off I had go for another length of the pool. Vestige traces. William had not overcome the fear yet and wondered if the terror would grab him when he would be alone in the water. He tried to swim alone in the pool. The terror returned in small phases, but now, as he knew how to swim, he faced the terror with the confidence. He swam another length of the pool and challenged the fear by saying that, come. This went on until July, but I was still not satisfied. I was not sure that all the terror had left, so I went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire. Actually, he had slight confusion regarding his fear, so he tested himself. That's why he went to the Hampshire, died of a dog at Triggs Island, and swam 2 miles across the lake to Stampact Island. I swam the crawl, breast stroke, side stroke, and back stroke. Only once did the terror return when I was in the middle of the lake. I put my face under and saw nothing but bottomless water. The old sensation returned in miniature. I laughed and said, "Well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me?" I fled and I swam on. He wanted to test himself that whether he was out of fear or fear would return. But finally, he defeated. Finally, he won. William swam like this till the month of July, but was not satisfied. He wanted to assure himself, so he went Yet I had residual doubts at my first opportunity. I hurried west, went up to the Teton, to Concord Meadows, up to the Conrad Creek trail to Maid Glacier, and camped in the high meadow by the side of Warm Lake. The next morning I stepped. William still had some doubt about the fear, so he hurried toward the western direction he went to. Actually, he tried to assure himself. So he used different location, different lakes to assure himself that finally he won, or he defeated that fear, or learned the swimming. And when he used different places, he got that finally he overcome his fear. The experience had a deep meaning for me, as only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate. And rightly said, everyone cannot understand his emotion unless you face the same kind of situation. There is terror only in the fear of death, as Roosevelt knew when he said, all we have to fear is fear itself, because I had experienced both the sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce. The will to live somehow grew intensely. At last I felt relaxed, free to walk the trails and climb the peaks, and to brush aside fear. The experience had greater importance in William's life. He realized that death was peaceful and only the fear of death was fearful. He recollects the words of one of the presidents of America, Roosevelt. Roosevelt had said that all we have to fear is fear itself, as William had experienced death and the fear of death. His desire to live grew immensely. He felt released from fear and was free to walk up the trails and climb up the mountains fearlessly. So in this explanation, this is the final part of the story. When he overcome all his fear and learned swimming perfectly, he ended his memory by quoting a President of America's word that all we have to fear is fear itself. So I want to explain this line, कि what death is. Death is peaceful. William Douglas said that death is peaceful. So you will say, how death is peaceful? If death is peaceful, why people are afraid to die? Actually, you haven't studied Julius Caesar. In Julius Caesar, Caesar said, cowardice dies many times before their death, but the valiant die only at once. What it means? मौत जो होती है वो तो सबको आनी है, मौत से तो बच सकते नहीं, कि मौत का खौफ मौत से भी ज़्यादा तकलीफ़देह होता है. अगर हमें पता चल जाए कि हम 5 दिन बाद मरने वाले हैं, तो हम 5 दिन 24 घंटे हर सेकंड मरते रहते हैं. ये खौफ उस खौफ से बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा दर्दनाक, बहुत ज़्यादा तकलीफ़देह होता है. इसीलिए कहा है कि जब आप जीत जाते हैं, जब आप मौत को हरा देते हैं, उनको पानी में डूब के मरने से डर था, और उसको उन्होंने हरा दिया. इसलिए उन्होंने कहा कि जो डेथ है वो पीसफुल है, इतना खौफनाक नहीं होता है. मौत का खौफ जो है, आपने उसको हरा दिया, इतना खौफ नहीं होता है. डर का डर होना ही सबसे बड़ा डर है. एक कायर जो होता है उसको मौत का डर होता है, वो रोज़ मरता है, वो जी ही नहीं पाता. वो जिस वक्त उसकी ज़िंदगी होती है उस वक्त भी वो नहीं जी पाता. बहादुर आदमी को तो मालूम होता है एक बार मरेंगे, वो एक बार मर जाता है. जब मरना होता है मर जाता है, बाकी दिन तो जिंदा रहता है. लेकिन डर जो है इंसान को हर लम्हा हर घड़ी मारता रहता है, बेसुकून रखता है. और यही चीज़ उन्होंने कही कि फियर इज़ फियर इटसेल्फ. सबसे बड़ा खौफ तो यही है कि हम खौफ से हर वक्त डरते रहते हैं. ये हो जाएगा तो क्या हो, ऐसा हो जाएगा तो क्या हो जाएगा. बस हम किसी चीज़ को बदल नहीं सकते, हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. मौत के दिन को बदल नहीं सकते हैं, मौत को बदल नहीं सकते हैं, अपने अंजाम को बदल सकते हैं, अपने आप को बदल सकते हैं. बाकी जो चीज़ें बदल सकते हैं उसको बदलिए. जो चीज़ें हम बदल ही नहीं सकते उसके लिए क्यों माथापच्ची करना, अपना दिमाग ख़राब करना, ज़िंदगी के दिन को बर्बाद करना. उसको जिस वक्त पे आना होगा आ ही जाएगी. तो इस डर से हम घर से निकलना नहीं बंद कर सकते, हम खाना पीना नहीं बंद कर सकते, हम जीना नहीं बंद कर सकते हैं, हम किसी ऐसी चीज़ को करना नहीं बंद कर सकते. हमें करना क्या, एहतियात. उनके साथ 2 बार हादसा पेश आया, अगर वो डर जाते तो वो छोड़ देते, लेकिन उन्होंने ये नहीं किया, उन्होंने उस चीज़ को सीखने का जुनून ज़िंदा रखा अपने सीने में और उसको सीखने का उन्होंने एक सही तरीक़ा अपनाया, एक इंस्ट्रक्टर को ढूंढा, उस इंस्ट्रक्टर के साथ मेहनत की, सीखा और फाइनली वो जीत गए। हमें भी ज़िंदगी में यही सबक सीखना है कि नामुमकिन कुछ नहीं होता है। अगर हमें सच में कुछ हासिल करना है तो उनको उसको सही तरीके से करना होगा, उसके लिए मेहनत करनी होगी, उसको हासिल करने के लिए कोशिश करनी होगी। कोशिश करेंगे तो बिल्कुल जीत जाएंगे। जैसे कि कहा ही है, कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती है। When you try you will win। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आपको मेरा वीडियो अच्छा लगा होगा। If you like my video, share with me and discuss everything whatever you got from my video। I hope this chapter is clear to you। There will be no doubt, no question left in your mind। I tried to explain everything। Still you feel you want to ask, you can share your question with me, you can ask and answer my question. Whatever I ask during my videos, you have to answer my questions every time when you watch। Okay, so keep watching me। Thank you for joining my class। Thank you very much। Take care of yourself। Jai Hind to all।